Should murder be a crime? Yes. But I will say this. This is the most dramatic moment of class solidarity that I have seen in recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast for people whose entire FYP is dominated by Luigi Mangione and is not hating it. Is yours, Alyssa?
Full of Luigi? Yes, it's full of Luigi. I'm maxed out on Luigi. I'm maxed out on Luigi. I got to tell you, my people, 50% of my people, the Italians, they're either Sopranos or they're Luigis.
Why not both? You know, it is funny. America's newest sweetheart is a murderer. I saw a joke on Instagram the other day that it was like, maybe it was the Onion's Instagram, and it was like, beloved murderer's reputation tarnished by Goodreads profile or something.
I saw that too. Wait, did you know that the Onion's bid to get InfoWars was blocked by a judge just like 10 minutes ago?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It's developing story. We'll try to get more info, but yes, just this morning.
Oh my God, that
I know.
sucks.
Sorry to interject with different breaking news.
Oh, it's okay. The people need to know. Okay, well, last week, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, was fatally shot in Manhattan, and since then there's been an avalanche of support in favor of the murder and the shooter. The suspected shooter, Luigi Mangione, who's Mangione?
Either or, potato.
Tomato. Nobody says tomato. Whose extensive digital footprint from LinkedIn to Goodreads has given the internet a wealth of material to fantasize about his motives and other things too. Because there's a lot of thirst for Luigi out there. Some are applauding him as a sort of modern day Robin Hood. Others are horrified about the idolization of a murderer. So let's talk about it. Because Alyssa, I think you and I have some different feelings about this whole situation.
I mean, I just don't really ever think murder's the answer. I think that, one, we don't really know why he did it yet, right? Like
his manifesto is out there.
I did not read his manifesto.
It's only like 260 words. It's really short. It's not a Kaczynski link manifesto.
I know. I don't know. I mean, he had been missing for a long time. His parents had a missing persons report filed because they hadn't seen him. I just feel like there's a lot going on that we don't totally know. But in general, I think that, what do I think? I think that if he wanted to if the point of what he did was to bring attention to a broken and ghoulish industry, health insurance, that, like, I don't know, is that what's happening?
Yes,
like,
it is.
Do you think so, though? All anyone's doing is talking about how hot he is.
No, I think people are talking. I mean, there was an avalanche of people talking about their bad experiences with UnitedHealthcare,
which I think is a good outcome. I think that people should do that. I guess that's the point. I tried to find stories that talked about more than the murder. Like are reporters digging into the things that the UnitedHealthcare has been doing, like the fact that they use AI to deny 92% of their claims for elderly people? I saw that in one article. And I guess, I don't know. I think that, like, the people who work at the McDonald's that turned him in are getting death threats. There are wanted posters out for other CEOs all over the streets of New York. I think what he did is sad. I don't think killing this man was the answer. I think Luigi seems like a very smart person who clearly had the means to come up with a very elaborate plan and maybe could have put that brain power to different or better use.
Yeah, but here's my thing. This is the most we have ever been talking about this. And this is the first time that it has been so broken open and exposed how antagonistic and frustrated and angry people are en masse. Like how much the angry people outnumber the people that are like, whoa, slow down here. Because it's so inhumane. The way that insurance companies treat people is disgusting and inhumane. The fact that there is a profit-seeking layer between people and care for their own health and well-being. The fact that death panels, Sarah Palin's death panels, do exist and they're not even people. You know, it's so like dystopian. And I think that talking about health problems and health insurance problems as a single case, as a, you know, by yourself in a vacuum is not necessarily going to get the sort of viral momentum that this crime had. And it is, you know, it is a crime, but I think it is a crime, but it is a crime. And I think the fact that it is a crime and that it is so brutal is bringing attention to the brutality of the system in a way that nothing else has.
Look, I am all for bringing attention to the fucked up system. I have had anesthesia denied by my insurance company. Like, that's happened to me. But I think that the way people are talking about it is becoming a perverse cultural incentive structure for copycats. Like the way that this guy is, everyone's like, he's so hot and he got 65,000 new Instagram followers. And I just think that in a world where that's so online, I just think that this is going to have maybe a different outcome. I mean, but I don't know. Look, I mean, you're probably right. I'm like the moderate pussy who doesn't wish ill on anybody and all this stuff. But like, I just think that, you know, on the one hand, you have Blue Cross Blue Shield that came out like the day of the murder that said they were going to basically, their people who live in cubicles were going to decide how much anesthesia a person could have during their surgery. That is insane. And this reversed that. Right? Because of this, they got scared shitless and they reversed.
Clear. That's not clear because there is no reporting that like where BCBS is like, this is why we reversed. The timing circumstantially
That's
is
all
very,
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, they of course did not come out and say that. I'm just saying if it was a policy one day and wasn't the day after the murder, it feels like maybe something scared the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. I think the best outcome here is that the insurance industry maybe takes a hard look at themselves and understands that if they are going to, which they do, play God, right? They play God with people's lives. And this man then played God with the CEO's life.
Yeah, but he didn't, he played, like, look. The CEO played God with people's lives and profited immensely.
No, I know. I'm not defending the CEO.
This is costing Luigi something. This is costing him everything. He is playing God, and it is costing him everything. Mm-hmm. And Brian Thompson got to play God and benefit. Like it's.
Well,
not,
he's dead.
Well. Before he was playing God and benefiting immensely. And all of the other insurance CEOs are playing God and benefiting immensely. And their children are going to the same schools as people like Luigi Mangione. Like their kids are going to $40,000 a year private schools. They're going to University of Pennsylvania. Like this is somebody who was in a position where he could have had everything and he decided instead to not, here's the thing. If Brian Thompson or somebody like him were responsible for, if he were just in a room, right, pushing a button, and every time he pushed a button, he got $10 more, but another person died, but someone else would go out and kill another person, that's kind of what he did. You know what I mean? He just made more money the more healthcare was denied. And it wasn't even about killing people. It was causing people suffering. We don't know much about Mangione's personal health journey, but we do know from his manifesto that he was a computer engineer, and that he said that his digital footprint is pretty well taken care of. So everything that's out there, we can be pretty sure that he meant for us to see it. One of the things that's out there is at the top of his Twitter page, or his X.com page, which the only reason I've logged into X since I went to Blue Sky is to look at Luigi's X. So anyway, he has a picture of a back X-ray. There's some pins in the spine, and we don't know if that's his back or someone else's back, but people who have been in chronic pain, people who have had painful surgeries and had things denied to them, the fact that somebody can sit in an office, push a button like denying your claim, money go up, money go up, money go up, like it causes them no pain. This is the first time that the people on the like executive side have experienced like fear and pain in any way commensurate to the amount of fear and pain they've put out there. And like, should murder be a crime? Yes. I think murder should be a crime, and I think it's a shame that we live in a society where people have to, when they're talking about the reasons for this and the reasons that this is blown up the way that it is, have to be like, no, of course, I don't think people should go out in the streets and kill people, because the internet has become like a total bad faith machine. But I will say this is the most dramatic moment of class solidarity that I have seen in recent memory. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of a single, and if the system itself needs to be dismantled, has there ever been a time in history when a system so profitable for people but also harmful for people has been dismantled without violence?
No.
I don't think there has been.
No, the banks weren't dismantled in 2008. They actually were allowed to get bigger.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of like, and I don't want to. Another thing, Alyssa, you mentioned copycats, and there's a part of me that's like, oh, like, are disaffected young men going to see this and be like,
well, that's what I mean, and I don't just mean copycats against other healthcare CEOs. I mean people who wake up and disagree with something someone believes or says. I am not putting Brian Thompson in that category. He, as you said, inflicted a lot of harm on a lot of people and got wealthy doing so. But I just think that this sort of like hero worship, which is what it is, for better or worse, is something that if you are, which we're going to talk about later, a misogynistic, angry man who sees the love and adoration that Luigi is getting, how is this not an incentive to go out and hurt the person that you dislike, that you disagree with? And they don't have to be on a macro scale.
Well, they're not going to get the attention unless it's on a macro scale. Like, it's not just about hurting the person that they dislike.
Well, but they don't know that. Like these people aren't on the level, I guess, is kind of my point. If someone disagrees with a corporation, or I don't know, you know my point. It's just,
this is my hope that this is like the last. I hope that this is the only bloodshed in this transition. And I hope that there are a lot of lawmakers who see this, who see how angry people are, and see how uniting it is to be frustrated with the fact that there is a profit-seeking layer in between people and healthcare that they need, and will actually do the politically brave thing, maybe not profitable from a like insurance company lobbying perspective, but do the brave thing and say like, okay, we need to take steps to dismantle the private insurance industry. We need to like unravel this. We need to start doing it now, because I think that if it doesn't start now, there's no reason to think this is going to be the last time this happens. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I think people who have profited from the system are so high on their own supply, to use like a pharmaceutical term, that they don't understand why people hate the system. And I think that the first step is for people to get on the same page as like, hey, listen, people hate you guys. And like, this is why, because people's pain, people just suffer in silence. People die because of this profit-seeking system. And it's like, insurance should be, everyone puts their money together into a big old pool, and that risk pool just kind of it gets spread around, and you take from it as you need it, you put into it as you can, you take from it as you need it. But what it's become is everybody puts their money into a big old pool, and above the pool there's like a resort where like 50 guys live, and they get to drink from the pool and swim in the pool whenever they want, and we actually get jack shit. And it can't be like that. It can't. I hope that.
I just need to say, I agree with all of that. Like, I don't want anyone thinking I'm like defending insurance companies. I am not by any way, shape, or form. I just think that in some circles of the internet where people are talking about this guy, it is a little reckless.
I also think it's like pretty clout chasey at this point because he's so like there comes a point in like the hype cycle, which we've talked about when we talked about the Depp Heard trial happening, where like something being popular makes it more popular, and people who are trying to like, you know, get a taste of those sweet Luigi related views are going to get in on it, not because they have anything good to say or helpful to say, but because they want to like dip into his clout. And that sucks. I think like you said, Alyssa, I think the conversation that we need to be having is like, let's talk about the harm that the system did to people and talk about how to prevent this from happening again. Oh, also, he shot the CEO of UnitedHealthcare with a ghost gun.
Yeah, that was horrifying. Jesus Christ. Untraceable. Totally untraceable.
Untraceable ghost gun with a silencer that he downloaded and like printed with a 3D printer. So like another good outcome of this is like maybe we could talk a little bit about like gun control.
But
right?
also there's one other part of this story that is absolutely, I think, wild, is that about a day, 24 hours after he was shot, and people started thinking that the shooter, Luigi, might be on the run, there was a reward put out for information leading to the capture of whoever shot him. I don't think UnitedHealthcare put any money in.
No, they didn't. And then they had the meeting 2 hours after he died.
Like they stepped over him as if he was roadkill, and were just like, sorry, meetings got to go on. It's like pretty fucked up.
Honestly, I'm glad that at least somebody was thinking of the meetings, because the meetings are the real victims here. You know, people have agendas, they have pastries put out, they've printed out things. They've been collated. You know, they might even have one of those little plastic spines. They had to go to an office supply store to get those. Nobody likes going to an office supply store. So, you know, I'm glad the meeting survived, at least.
The meeting happened.
Item number 1, Brian's dead. Item number 2, profits are up.
Profits are up.
Good job, team. Like, oh my God. And also, CEOs are not worth that much money. I'm going to just say that. CEOs of healthcare companies, like if a very important meeting can just go on without you,
and the stock price goes up, it feels like not the message I would want if some harm came to me.
Well, they just saved like $10 million, right? So there you go. Pay that out as a dividend, guys. Like the insurance industry is so inhumane that it is inhumane to the people who have given their lives for it. It is insane. I think that there is going to be a lot more that we learn about this. I hope that there isn't a mysterious like jail incident where we don't get to hear from him anymore. But it also seems like he's pre-programmed some stuff to like post online. So
probably he's got some things scheduled to send.
This is like Batman villain stuff.
Yeah.
And also, you know what? I want to close this part of the conversation out by just saying, on his Twitter account, he retweeted a joke where Batman and the Joker were facing off, and the Joker was like, Batman, if you kill me, you'll save all the people on the boat. And Batman was like, no, if I kill you, I'm no better than anyone else. And Batman is like, hey, you ever heard of the trolley problem? Or the Joker is like, hey, you've ever heard of the trolley problem? I think that it seems like Luigi saw this as a trolley problem type situation. But the thing that's really sad is that there's going to be another person that fills in for him. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, this is a developing story, obviously. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not condoning murder, but I do think that this feels like a watershed moment in history.
I'm certain. You're probably totally right.
And we will not know the full scope of what this all means for quite some time. But wow, front row seat to history once again.